Welcome to Larry Dicko Presents Shit I Watched on Netflix with your host, Larry Dicko, and your co-host, Fuckface, the penis puppet.
Hi.
How you doing, Fuckface?
I'm doing all right.
All right, good. You hold on there?
Is that a puppet reference?
Is
that not?
Hey.
Hey.
What the fuck is this?
I thought spiky now.
Sorry about that.
What the fuck's happening?
Anyway, here's what we watched on. Here are 4 movies that I watched on Netflix streaming recently. Number 1, the TV show. The show.
The TV show. I taught all the TV shows.
TV show. Yeah, the show Derek.
Oh God.
Derek, that's fine. Derek is a Netflix original and the latest offering from Ricky Crevice of The Office fame in Britain. I like the British Office. I could not stand the American one. It wasn't funny. It went on for about 6 seasons too many. Derek is a tale of a possibly mentally handicapped guy who works in an old folks' home. The people who work at the home with him are losers at life, but nice people who treat the old folks like actual human beings. And naturally, the government wants to shut them down for this. Crevice does Curvis? How do you say that? Kerblock does a pretty amazing job as Derek, the possibly but not confirmed mentally handicapped guy. I am possibly. You're possibly but not confirmed mentally handicapped. You know, I couldn't help but notice he bears a striking resemblance to someone on this show.
Oh, wait, what?
Derek is a good show, but I'm not exactly sure who it's for. It's too weird for mainstream people. People who like The Office probably won't get it. I liked it because I find old people and mortality fascinating, and the show deals with that quite a lot. The flaw of the show is it's basically a character study on the good-hearted retard that we've seen in about 1 million movies, so that's sort of been done to death. The show does bring up a good point. What exactly do you call those people who are super close to being retarded or mentally handicapped and haven't been diagnosed? I've known quite a few in my life, and they always trip me out. Not retarded, but not retarded. It gets way too sappy at times, but on the whole, I'd say it's worth watching and something that you should check out if you like people who are possibly retarded.
I do.
Yeah. Now, the little girl who lives down the lane.
They called her the little girl who lives down the lane. All alone in that big house. Who was she? And what was her secret? A lot of people wondered.
This is an odd little movie about an odd little girl. She lives with her father, but every time anyone wants to talk to him, he's on a trip or busy working in the study and can't be disturbed. Eventually, she befriends a mildly handicapped teenage magician. That's not, you don't see a lot of those in movies. No. And as their relationship grows, he begins to learn her dark secrets. This film may have been forgotten if not for the amazingly believable performance of Martin Sheen as a child molester.
You're a very pretty girl, you know that? Pretty eyes.
Frank Hallett, the local creep.
I mean, he's a really believable pedophile.
Yeah, he's just perfect.
Yeah.
I heard he took a real hands-on approach to this role. I heard it really touched a lot of people. You don't think that's funny? Okay, fuckface, you're pretty smart. You know about child molesters. What do you think is like, what's his motivation to be in this movie? He's got a huge chunk in it, and he just plays the grossest guy.
He's got a huge chunk in it.
He's got a huge chunk in it. Why do you think, if someone offered you a role like that, would you take it?
If it was in 3D, I would do it. I would do it. I would do that movie if it was in 3D. I'd do it.
Okay, anyway.
It's the role of the child messer. It is fuckface.
In 3D.
In duckface.
Duckface. It is a
Duckface.
Fun little dark movie worth watching on a rainy Saturday afternoon with your kids. Next up, Bordello of Blood. Tales of the Crypt. Bordello of Blood is part of the Tales of the Crypt series of movies, which on the whole aren't half bad. Dennis Miller plays a wisecracking, alcoholic, private detective sort of loser with a heart of gold.
He gets involved with a dame whose brother, played by the great Corey Feldman, goes missing.
I know how you feel. I didn't want to be a vampire either. At first. But after you get used to it, it's pretty damn cool.
Well, actually, what he did is went to Corey Feldman, that is, went to a funeral home, which is a cover for a bordello, which is a cover for a coven of vampire hookers.
Obviously.
Of course. This movie is great for 3 reasons. 1, Dennis Miller is actually funny. He's got an endless supply of wisecracks and one-liners that he rattles off at a danger-filled pace. but with his patent dry delivery. Actually, I gotta say, I thought he was funny. He was funny,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I never really thought that guy was that funny, but he's funny in this movie.
No, he's funny. He's smart as fuck. I mean, he is a smart guy.
There's so many tits
Oh,
in this
my
movie.
God.
So many tits.
Titties.
I mean, I've seen a lot of movies with a lot of tits, but this one, boy, they just do
there's
it.
titties in this movie.
They do it. Every time they go to the bordello and there's a big party, you're just like 6 or 7 women just randomly walking around with their tits flopping everywhere.
Close-ups on titties.
Yeah, it's just endless. It's a very liberal dose of tits. So if you're into tits, like I know someone is. Yes. Oh, I remember that night. If you're into tits, then yes, this is your movie. It also has exploding hookers.
Exploding hookers!
Yes, exploding hookers. Not enough movies have exploding hookers. Matter of fact, the only other one that comes to mind is Frankenhooker. So, but these hookers are a little bit more, I guess, realistic looking. Yeah, there's lots of body parts being blown up, blood, guts, half hooker vampires crawling around. Anyway, it's a fun movie. Lots of laughs and blood,
Boobs.
and boobs and whatnot. And if you watch the Tales of the Crypt show growing up, you'll get lots of warm, fuzzy feelings when you see
like
the old
this.
Crypt Keeper
Yeah.
and his terrible puns. That's pretty good. Do it again. That's good.
We should get him on the show.
We should get that guy.
Where is he?
Where is it? He's probably
Get him!
6 feet under. And now, Room 237, which Fuckface just watched today, right?
Yeah.
All right, good news. Room 237 is a documentary about a handful of Stanley Kubrick enthusiasts who have watched The Shining way too many times.
Yes.
Yes. They have all watched The Shining a zillion times. They've watched it slow-mo, they've watched it scene by scene, they've watched it forwards, they've watched it backwards, and these two guys watched it forwards and backwards at the same time. They superimposed them together on the same screen, which actually had some pretty interesting things, but I'm pretty sure that Kubrick didn't mean to have it being shown that way. That wasn't his plan.
No, that was actually not the movie to be done like
These
that.
guys are into this shit. You will learn a lot about the movie, of course, and Kubrick's mind in general. For instance, did you know the movie is really about the genocide of the Indians and the Holocaust?
Obviously.
Obviously. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious, right?
If you watch it, you can tell.
Of course it is.
I mean, just like a movie.
I also learned in this movie that Stanley Kubrick is the guy who shot the footage for all the fake moon landings.
Also obvious.
I mean, it is pretty bonkers, and but the guys do make their case, and there's definitely stuff in there where you're like, okay, now that makes sense, and then there's some stuff in there that you're like, all right, guys, okay, sounds good, buddy. The bulk of their theories are based on the concept or fact that Stanley Kubrick is a genius, and he doesn't make mistakes in his movies. Everything is put there for a very specific reason. So when he does change something, like the color of the typewriter, or a sticker is missing, it has some hidden meaning, but that's, who knows, only Kubrick knows that. So Kubrick is an insane perfectionist, so they're probably right about some stuff, and other stuff, they're grasping for straws, and even they admit that at one point. One of them does. Okay, to me, it's a lot of fun just to get a peek into the mind of some people who are really, really fucking obsessed with this movie. I really like to jump into get a glimpse into minds like that. And one of the weirdest things about the movie is they keep using footage from the Italian splatterfest masterpiece Demons in the movie. I don't know why, but basically they're showing you demons, the people watching the movie in Demons, but on the screen it's The Shining, at the beginning of The Shining. So it's like an alternate universe where they don't all die, but instead watch a Kubrick film with a million hidden meanings. I recommend this movie if you are super stoned or severely hungover. I watched it with a hangover. It's kind of nice to lie there in bed with a slightly damaged brain and listen to these Kubrick nuts go on and on and on about this movie.
Like he'll often put little special clues that you see in the corner. Every scene there's an impossibility. That the TV doesn't have a core.
It's kind of relaxing in a strange way. Anyway, those are all streaming on Netflix, and I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I did. Anyway, yes, okay, until then, thank you for watching. That's our worst show ever.